Valkyrie is getting some new shoes tonight. For the front, we're going back with the Dunlop Elite 4. The last one, I got about 16,000 miles on it. It rode good, it wore good. The only complaint I had was the price. $320 for a motorcycle tire is a little outrageous if you ask me. And what's even more outrageous than that is the cost of the Elite 4 rear tire, which is about $420. So, I mean, after tax and everything, you're right around $800, give or take, for two motorcycle tires. Luckily, I guess fortunately, unfortunately, when I was looking for the Elite 4 rear tire, they were out of stock for like 4 to 6 months, and it caused me to look into the DARKSIDE mod, and I ended up trying it out. Because instead of $420, this bad boy right here was like $75 shipped to my door. It's a Accelera X-Grip 205/60/16 snow tire or winter tire, and I mainly picked it because I like the symmetrical tread pattern of the snow tire. The only problem that I read going with this size is that I might run into some rubbing issues that could be resolved, but in the end, after trimming one of the spots, which was on the fender mount, it still was rubbing into the swing arm just a hair. So, great tire. Other than that, nothing against the tire itself. It's just too big for the bike. But the acceleration characteristics were greatly improved. The braking is night and day difference over a motorcycle tire. Because on a motorcycle tire, obviously you only got like 2 to 3 inches of contact, because the way the tires are crowned, shaped. Whereas this is a car tire, it's flat. You got 8 inches pretty much of road contact. So braking, I mean, so much better than a motorcycle tire. Acceleration, you don't get that high-pitched like squeal when you break the tires loose. Like, I mean, it's more like a. So acceleration, braking, greatly improved. Rode it a few times in the rain, and I felt a lot more comfortable with this tire in the rain than I did with a motorcycle tire. So yeah, I got about 1,200 miles on this tire. And just in those 1,200 miles, it made me realize that this bike, as long as I own it and ride it, will never have a motorcycle tire under the back of it, ever. So that being said, I went down to a 195/65/16 Neoterra Neo Tour. It's a radial tire. It's got a 92H speed rating, which I believe is right around that 130 to 132 mile an hour speed rating. And after visiting Mexico a couple times, I know that this bike will not go over 129 miles an hour, which is perfect. And obviously, if you get on like the DARKSIDE forums, and from like the early to mid 2000s, when these bikes were really popular, I mean, there's some crazy people out there just going nuts when you mention putting a car tire on a motorcycle, and there still are today. But a lot of them, you can't lay it over in the turns. Well, this is a cruiser. It's not a crotch rocket. It's not a sport bike. It is very nimble for being about a 750 to 800 pound bike. But the proof is in the foot pegs. As you can see right there, you're not going any lower than these foot pegs. If you are, the bike is on its side completely, and you're probably in the ditch or getting run over by the people behind you. So no complaints going through the twists and turns. Can pretty much keep up with whoever or whatever, and I don't feel scared to lay it over, because I mean, it handles just as well. And even I took some videos and even had some people following me at one point, and when I was going through some turns, they were looking at the tire and they're like, it's making my brain hurt because you're laying it on the edge and you still have over half of the tire contacting the ground. And that's partly due because it is a softer sidewall, so it will flex. The tread will stay in contact with the road, but the sidewall flex a little bit. And you still have a lot of contact with the road. So, and there are going to be people, well, you're putting too much stress on the sidewall. Again, it's a cruiser, not a street bike, not a crotch rocket, not a dual sport. You're not dragging your knees on this bike. So, yeah, if you're kind of like me and you wanted to try something different and not just break the absolute bank account, give a car tire a try. If you can find one that'll fit your bike. I'm not saying go do this on a crotch rocket, a dual sport, any kind of sport bike or whatever. If you got a cruiser though, and the tire you need is out of stock or it's way too expensive and you just want to ride, give it a try. $65 shipped to your door. Again, Toyo MTs, 4 of them mounted and balanced, at a shop. 305 7016s, $1,000 cash out the door. 2 Elite 4s, $800, and mounting them myself. If you take it to a dealership or motorcycle shop, after labor costs, you're probably going to be in that $1,100 to $1,200 range. So pick your poison. I'll pick a car tire on the back every single time.